Hey Audio Engineering, it's Mr. Goldschmidt, and let's talk about your composing a ringtone project. So as it says, over the past few weeks, we've been learning about drum tracks, melodies, and composing, creating, and soundtrap. So for this assignment, we're going to use all of what we've learned so far. We're going to compose a 25 to 30 second ringtone. The reason it has to be 25 or 30 seconds, it can't be any longer, is because your iPhones only allow you to load in ringtones of certain length, and most of the time it'll cut it off after 30 seconds, or it just simply won't let you load in the sound if it's anything longer than that. If you have an Android phone, typically those will let you load in a sound that's a little longer than that, and you can shorten it up, do some different things, but we're going to cut this off at 30 seconds. The first thing I want to do is listen to some ringtone examples. While you listen, I want you to ask yourself, do they work? Why or why not? And what do you think makes a good ringtone? What is the purpose of a ringtone? So probably the original famous ringtone that we can all recognize is the Nokia ringtone. And if you haven't heard this, now you have. And typically it plays 2 or 3 times. That's our original Nokia ringtone. Now a few years ago, Nokia did a remake competition, and they asked people to remake their original ringtone. And this is what some people came up. This was the winner, the Nokia Tune Dubstep Edition. Hopefully my microphone didn't pick that up too bad, but it probably did. Next we have my favorite one, which is they called it the Nokia Orchestra. And there's several other really great ones on here that you might want to listen to. And as you're listening, decide what makes that a great ringtone. Some things that as you listen to the rest of these, you can do so on your own time. Some things that you might want to ask yourself, do they work? Why or why not? Are you going to be able to hear that sound on a cell phone speaker? And phone speakers have gotten really good or better recently, but a lot of phone speakers aren't going to be able to handle very much bass. So keep that in mind. If you have a lot of bass in your sound, it's not going to come through on that speaker. Sounds that do come through on that speaker are those higher sounds, some of the upper synths, depending on drums that you're looking for. Stay away from those bassy 808s. They're not going to cut through. But a snare sound, a clap sound, those are going to cut through. For this assignment, we're going to click on this link to begin the assignment, and you're going to be composing a 25 to 30 second ringtone. We're going to use the knowledge on writing melodies, chord progressions, and drum beats in this project. You need to have at least 5 or more tracks. 2 of those tracks have to be your own recorded material with MIDI. You can use loops in addition to those 2 sounds. We're going to add virtual instrument tracks and select sounds that you'd like to use. Make sure you use that metronome and quantize when you're recording. And then we're going to turn this in on Google Classroom. Some helpful tips. As the ringtone progresses, add urgency, because your ultimate goal of a ringtone is to have the person pick up the phone and answer the phone. We don't want to use an introduction on this. Ringtones are really short, so get to the point, get that person's attention with your ringtone. And as it says here, ringtones must grab the listener's attention within the first 3 to 5 seconds. So don't wait 15 seconds for your main melody to start in. It needs to jump on it. Some other helpful hints are double the melody in octaves on different instruments, and I'll show you how to do that in class, but you can copy and paste what you've created and move that between different instruments. We can create a parallel harmony by doubling the melody and use that at maybe an interval of a third or interval of a fifth. Make sure you add compression to even out your MIDI recorded sounds. Be careful, as I said, of using lots of bass. Phone speakers are really small. The bass sounds are not going to cut through, so don't use very much bass. It's not going to work. And then finally, be creative and have fun. There are some additional sound effects you can use on freesound.org, soundbible.com. Those are sound effects websites. So maybe there's a particular sound that you want that's not in Soundtrap. You can go on there and download a sound and add it into your music. This is going to be due next Wednesday, October 20th, if you're a Monday, Wednesday person, or on Thursday, the 21st, if you're a Tuesday, Thursday person. We will listen to them actually on a phone, my phone, in class, ringtone style. So that's how we're going to listen to these as we finish this project. If you guys have any questions, make sure you send me an email anytime. If you have an iPhone, here's instructions on how to add that ringtone to your iPhone.